Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Digital.flash.fire. This is just going to be a little bit of a rant. I've got videos going in the background. There's a couple of disappointing battles I had today. I'm going to talk a little bit about wargaming in general. I'm going to talk about World of Tanks, World of Warships, and kind of where I think the games are. The first thing I'm going to talk about in World of Warships, I'm having a really hard time making myself log in. I really want to enjoy the game. I really, really think that they are close to having something excellent. But they can't get out of their own way. They keep, destroyers are just pointless above tier 5. And cruisers above tier 6 or 7 are they're unusable. You get to a point very quickly where, well, I mean, the role of cruisers is to get rid of destroyers. Well, why do you need to get rid of destroyers? Destroyers aren't a problem. They can't influence the battle because they're only firing torpedoes once every 3 or 4 minutes, and you'd have to be blackout drunk to not be able to avoid those torpedoes. So, oh, they're there to prevent aircraft. Well, yeah, they can't do that either. Aircraft hit point gets so high that unless you have more gunpowder than anything, you're not going to be able to destroy the aircraft. So, well, they can't take on battleships. It's just even Japanese with their torpedoes. Well, torpedoes suck, remember? And they need to deal with these problems, and they need to stop pretending they don't exist. It's kind of like artillery in World of Tanks, where they pretend that this isn't an issue, and then they're amazed when it grows into something bigger. And in World of Warships, well, now they fucked up battleships in this patch, and there's all of a sudden there's no ships that people want to play that are interesting at all. And yeah, they're going to fix battleships quick because it's a bug, and for once it's an obvious enough bug that wargaming is gonna respond. But hey, congratulations, that's one. World of Tanks, on the other hand, has a couple of little issues, and we're going to talk about the negatives first, so I can get it. I'm just unburdening my chest. So, first off, there are a lot of tanks like the KV-4, like the T-54 I'm driving right now, and like the Mutant. Any tank that is reliant on its armor is its defining characteristic is worthless in an environment where there's so much gold spam. The KV-4 used to be the KV Fortress, because everyone could, you could just ignore people in it, and it was balanced by the fact that it had a mediocre gun. Well, now you've got a KV-4 that, the armor isn't that good because you can penetrate it from anywhere. And it's balanced by the fact that even with premium, the gun isn't that good. And it just makes something that, it makes certain lines very challenging. And they don't, there have been suggestions, and they say that they wouldn't work. Things like, okay, so you get higher pen, less damage. And like, well, people would still spam premium. Yeah, they'd still spam premium, and it'd suck. It would reward skill by making people that aim for weak points more effective. Yeah, here's the end of this game for you. How's that feel? Ugh. And what you end up with is this meta where the only things that matter are rate of fire and damage per minute, because your armor is going to get ruthlessly penetrated by anyone that wants to spend enough credits to actually, move forward. So we have this meta where people are just spamming gold, but there are certain tanks that doesn't work on. You have the British, tier 5 to 7 heavies, where with their god-awful medium tank guns. You've got a bunch of a bunch of medium tanks where, yeah, you can spam gold, but you're only doing 100 damage because even the gold isn't balanced internally against other gold rounds, and it's really creating a mess, and it's really, I think it's really hurting the development of the game. Now, it doesn't mean the game isn't fun. I am enjoying the heck out of this. You know, these two matches you're watching, spoilers, we lose both matches. But I had a blast in these games. It would have been nicer if we'd have won. But, I mean, it's multiplayer games. The only problem is other people. Now, the good things it has going is there are so many resources, and is such a good community. And I know it sounds weird to say that about, if you're just complaining about other people, but, what I'm constantly saying about games like EVE Online is it's either a terrible game with a great community or it's a great game with a terrible community, and it just depends on how you play it. Well, there are awful, awful people that play World of Tanks, and there are people that will just detract from your enjoyment every time you log in. And I'm actually okay with that. There are people that will make the game incredibly enjoyable as an overall experience. And there are so many resources you can learn from. I mean, even my terrible videos, I'm sure someone could learn something from them, although I don't suggest they do. There are all these resources that make this game more fun to play, that make it more enjoyable. And it's a fun experience. And the time factor in World of Tanks is just amazing. So you pop in, you play a game for 5 or 6 minutes, and if that's all the time you have, you walk away and hey, you've had fun and you've accomplished something. One of the big problems I have with the World of Warships is you can have these god-awful 15-20 minute battles where you don't get anything done, where you don't get any experience, you don't have any fun, and that's 15 or 20 minutes out of your game session. That's rough. And I really am enjoying World of Tanks right now. I'm in a good place. I'm partially because I'm in a good place in so many tank lines at once. I mean, I'm in an awkward spot. I've got a stock Comet that I wish wasn't stock. I've got an A43 that I wish wasn't terrible, although I'm starting to figure it out. God, I love that. The best thing really is I feel personally that I'm starting to get to the point where I am positively influencing the games that I'm in. I am affecting the outcome in a good way. My WN8 is starting to creep up. I'm starting to get to the point personally where I'm not ashamed of my stats. And my win rate is actually outpacing my WN8, which means... And WN8's not a perfect rating, and neither is win rating, really. But it makes me feel like I'm doing more to help my team win than WN8 really represents. And part of it is because I'm in tanks like the, this thing where I eat 5,000 or 6,000 potential damage over the course of a battle just by using my armor well. But as I said, using your armor only works for so long because people start spamming gold. And I shoot a fair amount of gold. I don't think I did in either of these battles. And I didn't pick these because I didn't use gold. I picked them because, there's nothing I'm going to say about these battles that I wouldn't say about other battles that I've played. And I just think they make for an interesting backdrop. The other thing that I would like to see more of is more diversity. You're seeing, Sand River is not a map, I think, that has been featured in any of my replays recently. At least not in a very long time. Here's a nice move. So I know the KV-4 is going to take forever to get around, so I'm going to go up and give myself some cover, and I'm going to brutalize this guy while the KV-4 struggles to get around. Just a a nice, fun little move. The that shot was never going to go in. I'm quite happy with how I'm doing with the way I'm influencing games. I know it could be better. We can all, I'm always trying to get better. It's a matter of, are you thinking more? Are you acting more? And I feel like there's more positive steps, there's more learning I can do in a game like World of Tanks than there is in a game like World of Warships. And don't get me started about World of Warplanes, please. You want to talk about wargaming messing things up? Oh, where did that shot dink? You notice I'm using the T-28 for cover now, which has to be a little insulting. Angle my turret, pop off the shot. God, how did that not go in? The Battle of the Slow Tanks. Yeah, we knew that wasn't going to work. And now I get clever. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, where I just had a 2-on-1 against 2 tanks that, if they just split up and rushed into this gap that I tried to plug, they would have had me. But I was able to make it happen. And fire extinguishers, people. Oh my God. You do not know how many people I've seen take way too much damage from fires in the last couple days. Seriously, did they raise prices on those or something? Oh my God. All right, folks, I appreciate you listening to me rant. I know it's something a little different, and I promise it'll be a little more coherent next time, but for Digital.flash.fire, this is Dan. Thank you, and have a great night.